Hi everyone, today I shall be discussing about scapula, the bone of upper limb. This is right scapula and left scapula. Scapula is thin and flat bone that is situated on posterior lateral aspect of thoracic cage. Now let's talk on details about right scapula. Now talking about different features of scapula. It has two surfaces. Dorsal surface, also called posterior surface, and another is ventral surface, also called costal surface. And it has three borders: medial borders, lateral border, and superior border. Also, it has three angles: superior angle, inferior angle, and lateral angle, also called glenoid angle, that contains the glenoid cavity. This is lateral angle, also called glenoid angle, that contains the glenoid cavity, and superior angle and inferior angle. It has three processes. One is spinous process, another is acromion process, and remaining one is coracoid process. Details about the surface. The dorsal surface has attachment of spinous process of scapula that divides the dorsal surface into upper smaller supraspinous fossa and lower larger the infraspinous fossa. The supra and infraspinous fossa are connected laterally by the spinoglenoid notch. The spinoglenoid notch is between the glenoid cavity and spinous process of the scapula. So this is spinoglenoid notch. This connects the upper supraspinous fossa and infraspinous fossa. And the ventral surface, also called costal surface, contains the subscapular fossa. It is concave and directed medially and forward. The superior angle is covered by trapezius and inferior angle is covered by latissimus dorsi. It moves forward around the chest when the arm is abducted, and lateral or glenoid angle is broad. Lateral angle or glenoid angle is broad and bears the glenoid cavity or fossa, which is directed forward, laterally, and slightly upwards. Above this glenoid cavity, here is supraglenoid tubercle that has attachment for biceps brachii, and below this it has infraglenoid tubercle that has attachment for long head of tricep brachii muscle. About the borders, the superior border is thin and shorter. The superior border is thin and shorter and near the root of coracoid process. Near the root of coracoid process, there is presence the suprascapular notch. The lateral border is thick. This lateral border is thick at upper ends. Lateral border is thick at upper ends. It presents the infraglenoid tubercle. And the medial border. The medial border is thin and it extends from superior angle to inferior angle of scapula. Now moving on to the process. The spinous process is a triangular plate of bone with three borders and two surfaces. The borders are the anterior borders that attach to the dorsal surface of scapula, and the posterior border which has two lips, the upper lips and lower lips, and another border is lateral border that contains the that forms the spinoglenoid notch. The posterior border is also called crest of spine. it has the upper and lower lips. And the acromion process. The acromion process has two border, that is the medial border and lateral border, and two surfaces, the superior and one is inferior surface, and contains a facet for clavicle hair. The coracoid process is directed forwards and slightly laterally. It is bent and finger-like. It is atavistic type of epiphysis.